What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 2 for 2, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voice of the culture. I'm your host, Keith, and I'm here, as always, with my brother Nell, and we're back on the 2 for 2 pod today for you guys, man. Season 4, episode 20. Very special episode because today is my birthday, and we are recording on my birthday. No days off. Shout out. I'm also in another state, Chicago, hence why I'm in a hotel room. But we're here. So, Nell, how are you doing today, man?
Not about me. It's about you, big dog. Big 2-9. Yeah, so we just gonna let you run the show today. I know you got a lot to talk about with your Bucks.
I don't. It's actually not on the docket at all, to be frank.
Plenty going around with New York. So
I mean,
just let it loose, man. How we feeling?
I mean, let's go. Right now, flat out, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are who I thought they were. We are who I thought we were. Yeah,
that's interesting because you thought y'all were Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, that was like 7 weeks ago. Remember, we used to do like the confidence meter, and then slowly we stopped doing it because the confidence is gone, right?
Yeah, you love doing confidence meters when your confidence is high.
Yeah, when I'm not doing it, there's no confidence. Frankly, Todd Bowles did the most Todd Bowles thing ever and lost to a rookie quarterback. Not any rookie quarterback. Tyler Shough. A guy that people don't even watch the Saints, right? Like the Saints they got what, 1 win or 2 wins, whatever it was. They got 1 additional now.
Might be 3 now, thanks to
it might be 3. Might be 3 thanks to us. The Bucks had 1 job. You beat the Saints, you beat the Falcons, you beat the Panthers. You control your own destiny. You automatically win the division. You get a game at home against the Saints, and you lose. I don't really care about football anymore, man. I think that's where I'm at with it. My girl got me I finally got my Mike Evans jersey, and we started losing. I'm not even going to need to wear it, right? Like we got a Thursday game against the Falcons. Kirk Cousins on Thursday night. I've seen that before. You think I want to see it again?
I do.
No, I don't.
That'll be fun.
And then you got to play the Panthers twice, the team that are quite literally right behind you now in the standings. Good news for the Bucks is this. You beat the Panthers twice, you win the division. Bad news for the Bucks.
Easier said than done.
It won't happen. It's already hard enough to sweep divisional opponents, right? You would think the Bucks, you thought the Bucks were the better team in this division, right? Nobody was thinking about the Panthers. Nobody was really thinking about the Saints. Maybe the Falcons early on, but so now nothing.
It was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, you could put nothing past the Bucks now. So to think
you could put nothing past the NFC South.
To think I'm going to get on here and say that we're going to sweep the Panthers is a stretch. We probably will lose to the Falcons on Thursday.
Panthers might win both.
Panthers might win both, and it might be what we need. To be honest, sometimes you got to do things to force, a new reaction, right? As long as Todd Bowles wins the division, the Bucks probably won't fire him, right? Like if you win 9 or 10 games, you win 10 games every year, win your division, most people would say you're doing a good job, right? But you got to get deeper into the context. You got to look at the fact that you're in a division that is terrible, right? You had a rookie quarterback. You had Bryce Young, who most people were done with, right? And then you had Michael Penix / now Kirk Cousins. You would think you got Baker Mayfield, you got Bucky Irvin, you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, all these guys. Granted, Bucks team has been beat up, but every team's beat up in the NFL. And you just expect different. So, unfortunately for Todd Bowles, he won't get fired unless we lose the division. And maybe that's what we need. Frankly, I keep saying frankly today. Honestly, he's
age 29 vocab.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting up there. I'm getting up there. Cool guy. He's just not a head coach. And then to top it all off, you go sign JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, whose best years were what? He was a Giant. He had some good years as a Buck, but that was 3-4 years ago when we won a Super Bowl. That's the last time he was on our roster. You had an off season. I mean, I think we're bringing him in because the locker room is cooked, right? Like Levante David is apparently walking out, storming out after games now. You don't really have an emotional leader. Levante's not an emotional leader. He doesn't really talk. right? Like Antoine Winfield's a quiet guy. Jamel Dean's a quiet guy. Vita Vea's a fun guy. Like, you don't really have a guy. Like, you don't have a guy that's going to get in people's face and hold them accountable. So I think that's what this is. But it's also like, it's the most desperate thing ever. You had the offseason. You had the draft. You had Trey Hendrickson and all these other guys that were apparently on the block. You had the trade deadline and you didn't try. You didn't go for him because you said flat out, I like our guys. The Bucs want to draft
Could
their
have had
guys
Micah
and
Parsons
develop
for
their
Vita
guys.
Vea.
Could have had Micah Parsons for Vita Vea, if that's what you want to say. But, you ignored pass rush, and your pass rush sucks. Guys on the back end of the defense can't guard. Your offense has taken thousands of steps back from, when you had Liam Cohen last year, and look at Liam Cohen, he's atop the AFC South. So, like, hey, that's another question, right? Like, so, I think my team, we just got a little too high on our own supply, right? We were like, oh, look, we had all these homegrown guys. Oh, look, we had Dave Canales. We replaced him with Liam Cohen. We were just as successful. We can do it again. Nah. End of the rope for my boy Todd and the Bucs, man. I can't believe you even made me talk about this today. This just made my whole day worse than it already felt. So yeah, pretty disappointed about my Bucs, man. Pretty disappointed by them. I guess I'll watch on Thursday to watch the fate of our season, right?
Don't act like that. You know you'll be watching.
I mean, you're right. I've endured every Bucs season since I was alive, so it gets worse. It gets worse. But I think what sucks is when you get expectations and they're like, oh, you're good, and then you're not good. That's what upsets me. So, not fun. Stand on the NFC side of things, because if my day is gonna suck, everybody's day is gonna suck. Jalen Hurts, you cost me a fantasy playoff berth, buddy, and I'm upset about it. What did he do last night, bro? 4 picks, 1 fumble. One of the fumble came on a play that he threw a pick. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's never happened before, right?
Highly unlikely.
You threw a pick. Your team forces a fumble. You recover the fumble and then fumble. All bad. Looking at Jalen Hurts. This is a guy that, Eagles fans through and through. They love him. He's their guy. But now I'm hearing a lot of rumblings. I'm seeing people on Instagram like, I always knew he was never like that. Jalen Hurts, top 5 quarterback talk. We talked about my Bucs, how things change so quickly, right? Things have changed quickly for the Philadelphia Eagles. What's that, 2 straight? 3 straight?
Yeah.
Am I tripping? Did I make something up?
Cowboys, Bears.
And then this one, right? That's 3 straight. 3 straight losses, man. How you feeling about Jalen Hurts? He's not the top 5 guy that the Eagles fans said? Is just the moment? Or is this the real thing?
Yeah, I think at this point right now, that's the reality of the situation for the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. He has not played up to par this year. I think we've given that team a lot of grace because obviously they have won the Super Bowl, and wouldn't be the first time we've seen a team come in and have kind of a Super Bowl hangover. But the way not just him, but the rest of that offense, the way they've regressed, has been alarming to see. I'll give Jalen Hurts just like a little bit of grace this season. Now, if he comes back next season and he plays the same way, I don't want to hear Jalen Hurts in top 10 to 15 conversations again.
Top 15?
Yeah, if he plays like this, I don't want to hear him in top 15 conversations. I mean,
that's fair.
You got two elite weapons on the outside. You got a decent offensive line. I don't know what's going on here. Obviously, everyone wants to blame the offensive coordinator and coaching. That's the easy way to go about it. But at the end of the day, the offensive coordinator is not making these decisions, turning the football over, inaccurate passes. List goes on and on. Obviously, it's a team game. All of this stuff plays into it, but there's just no way around it. He's just looked awful this year. We are a long ways away from week 1.
Not what we expected.
When he was number 1 in QBR. That's why the MVP race isn't over at week 1. nobody can be a top 5 QB after week 1. Got to play the full season. And Eagle fans are starting to realize that. So
yeah,
I'm just hoping they can lose 2 more games. That's all I'm hoping that.
Division.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Last night was crazy.
But a man can dream.
Who do they have? Let's see. I was watching the game and I'm like,
Raiders, Commanders.
What they tie?
Bills, Raiders, Commanders.
You might get one
twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you might get. Well, I mean, nah. Jaden Daniels is hurt again.
Jaden Daniels got hurt again, so
I think they need to go ahead and sit him down. Yeah, you probably won't get 2, but it is crazy to see, man. It's funny because I feel like this too will be seen as hate when we are just given a very reasonable, realistic
I don't care if it's hate or not.
At the end of the day,
the brother's playing like trash.
Exactly, and I think for
and even Eagles fans can't deny that anymore.
No, they don't. It's funny. Social media is hilarious after Eagles losses. It's hilarious. Like I just feel like for so long, Eagles fans have been able to, they've held Jalen Hurts on this pedestal for winning, right? Well, it's like, well, now guess what? Y'all aren't winning. And how does he look in these
It's hard when you can't push every 3rd and 4th down. It gets a little tougher.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's bad. That's probably last night was probably one of the worst quarterback performances we've seen all season.
For sure.
If not the worst.
It's up there.
Definitely the worst game of his career. And I get bad games happen, but Jesus Christ, you've seen now
31 like QBR.
3 straight. And they got weapons.
Said if you just spiked the ball every play, QBR would have been a 39.
He would have had a higher QBR had he done that yet.
It's insane.
So, yeah, you cost me my playoff, like I said. So, good luck, man. Eagles fans, you'll likely still make the playoffs, but I think the tone moving forward in this season will be a lot different. Now, they could still make a run. Who knows? But at the same time, looking at this offense, I think we've exited this is a phase thing, right? Like this is just who they are. I think they were talking about. I was reading before the game last night. They were saying how much film Jalen Hurts went back and watched from old years and talked to Sirianni a lot about the playbook and what input he wanted to have on it. Yikes. So for that to kind of be the result after all of that is pretty rough. So, and they're 1-3. I think they're 1-3 since AJ Brown and that last outburst he had. He's getting the ball. He also dropped a crazy touchdown. I'll give Jalen Hurts that. He had one amazing throw last night to AJ Brown.
Just one.
And he dropped it. Yeah, I mean, I'll give credit where it's due. Let's shift gears to another quarterback, though. Somebody on Twitter said they Apple Watches to the ceiling. Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He is the future. What he had 4 touchdowns last game in the battle, in the duel against number 1 overall pick Cam Ward at that, right? Shedeur looked amazing. Looked confident. Talked his trash with Jeffrey Simmons. 4 touchdowns. You see Deion in the box turned up, man. The Browns have a quarterback, and it's a shame. It's a shame that it came to this, right? Like it's a shame to think that this guy sat pick after pick after pick after pick, including a pick that is on his team, just to get to this point where we're like, oh wow, he is really like that. What's our take on Shedeur, the Browns, and that overall fiasco at this point?
I think he's earned the right to start the rest of the season, but I do think we could pump the brakes a little bit just on whether he is the future of the franchise.
He's the future.
I think short term, obviously, it's no brainer. You got to keep him in there. And I think you're starting to see, he said after the first time he got in there after Dylan Gabriel got hurt, he had no practice, no reps. And then, week to week, you start to see improvements and him start to look like an actual quarterback compared to the 4 of 16 showing that we saw when he was just thrust in there. So he's looked a lot better, looked great. It was the Tennessee Titans, one of the worst teams in football. So
that's valid.
Take that just with a grain of salt, and they still lost. Not on him. Probably should have been in there for the 2-point conversion.
Wasn't a bad play call though. It could have worked, but he definitely should have been.
It was a pretty bad play call.
I saw some video. I saw what they were trying to do.
That's cool.
But you don't take your guy
Anytime
out
you draw up
there.
a play, you're trying to do something positive. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. It's about the result. And the result just wasn't good. I know they like their Wildcats down there in the red zone goal line area, but like I said, the boy was hot that day. I think he ride with the hot hand in that situation. But he's played well, and I think he's obviously earned the right to start the rest of the season and see what happens next year. But yeah, just think we need to pump the brakes just a little bit. We know all the pressure that's on him just because of his name. I think we just go out there and let him play, let him make mistakes, let him learn and grow. Browns might have them one. But do the Browns want that? Do the Browns want that? Do the Browns really want that?
Something's got to give. It's either going to be Shador or Stefanski. So I think that's. I don't see a world where Stefanski sticks around another year, though. Hopefully, whoever you bring in does want
something. They got to figure out soon.
Yeah, definitely gonna be interesting. But like you said, man, we got to enjoy the moment. I think that's the main thing with Shador. Just enjoy the moment. He at the end of the day, he has a couple things still going against him. The politics of the NFL is a real thing. You are what, 6th round pick? Was it 6th round pick? Fifth round pick. Obviously, I don't think the Dylan Gabriel experiment worked, but he comes back next year. They might go ahead, do another QB battle thing, probably add another guy, I would assume. So it's not the end of this road, right? It's not the end of this road. At the end of the day, what Dylan Gabriel was a 2nd and 3rd round pick, and then you got a 5th round pick. So when people look at sports, you gotta take a lot of context into a play as well, because no matter what, especially if the Browns aren't, it's not like they're racking up wins. Like you said, they still lost to the Titans. So a lot of things were still, but we gotta enjoy the moment. Shout out to Shador. I think the Browns have a good thing, and I think they need to cling to it because they haven't had very many good things. Oh yeah, Deshaun Watson's coming back. I think he practiced. I saw him practice. I don't think he's playing this year, but he's still on the roster. So we gotta see how things shake out in Cleveland moving forward. But looking at the AFC, you stand on the AFC side of things. At this point, the Colts, right? Their season, they're turning to Phillip Rivers, right? It's crazy how they pushed the chips to the middle to get Sauce Gardner, and then everything just went left. Daniel Jones tears his Achilles after he fractures fibula. No coincidence there, right? Overcompensating for things on your knee, I'm sure. Obviously, Sauce has been banged up. So with that, is the favorite. Who do you have to represent the AFC right now in the Super Bowl? You can pick who you just want. Like you just like, hey, this is who. You still have the Bills.
I think.
I think looking at the roster. The teams that are vying for that spot, they probably have the best case, right?
I still think KC is in the hunt.
In there.
I wouldn't count them out just yet because of the Colts' last couple of games. Like the Colts there's a good chance the Colts don't win another game for the rest of the season. And if the Chiefs went out, they obviously got the tiebreaker. So, there's a chance, there's a world where we don't have the Chiefs in the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes, and we don't have Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. Forget about Lamar Jackson. The only quarterbacks I'll give Burrow some love to because he beat Josh in Buffalo. But the only quarterbacks that have given Josh Allen trouble in postseason, Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, and you might not have to face any of them. So I think regardless of how great of a season the Broncos are having, the Patriots are having, I still think they could go on the road and beat any of these teams. Yeah. Obviously, it's going to take a lot. Josh is going to have to be at his apex. Weapons on the outside still questionable. Defensively, up and down. When they can run the ball, they're a much better team. But I just think Josh, come playoffs, nobody has really outplayed him other than Mahomes. And I think that's going to be I think it's a very great chance that that's the case again this postseason. And if he doesn't have to play the Chiefs, I give him a great shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. Just looking at these teams, it's more so just like, do you trust Drake May? Do you trust Bo Nix? Do you trust
They don't have a
Trevor
chance to
Lawrence?
prove it.
Do you trust? You're right, and you know that's something that's real, right? A lot of people talk about that experience. Well, you can't get experience until you get thrown into the fire, right? And so, I mean, at the end of the day, right now the Patriots are 11-2, the Broncos are 11-2. If the AFC is so fortunate that Patrick Mahomes misses it, because I do agree with you, I think if they make it, nobody wants to. I wouldn't want to play
They're
him.
not doing anything if they make it. But I'm just saying.
You think if the Chiefs make the playoffs, they can't win?
They're not doing first round
That's
exit.
nuts. That's
Wild
nuts.
card exit.
That's nuts.
That is just not a good football team.
That's fine, but I don't know about that, man. I don't know. I mean, I think I could see the Patriots taking it. I think I could see that. Coaching is really good. They're good on the road. I think they're undefeated on the road, even though they won't be on the road. I don't know, man. They're solid.
If the Chiefs sneak into the playoffs, they would have to go to New England or Denver.
I think what you're seeing in the NFL this year, above all, is the importance of coaching, right? I think that's something that we need to start shifting the conversation in general from, you know, this player-led thing, right? Obviously, like Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen is Josh Allen. You got the Lamar Jacksons of the league, whatever. But I mean, the job that some of these coaches are doing, just looking at these teams around the league that have improved, the teams that are just in the race. I mean, you look at you move to the NFC North. Would you say that the Bears are solidified a better team than the Lions? Probably not talent wise, but and that's not me saying that Dan Campbell's not a good coach, but just looking at some of the things that, you know, the Bears are doing, looking at some of the things that Sean Payton is doing in
First
Denver.
place schedule versus what?
I mean,
third
I
or
feel
fourth
you,
place
but
schedule.
things are real. Things are real though. These things are real. I'm just saying coaching pays, and I think a lot of time, I think when it gets to the playoffs.
And didn't the Lions like put up 50 on them in week 2?
That was just, we're just talking about record here.
Okay.
We're just talking about record because we're looking at records in the playoffs. I'm just saying, do you trust Josh Allen with his weapons that aren't that good against a very, very good, well-coached and solid Patriots team, or very good, well-coached, solid Denver team?
I do.
Hell, even, I hate to say the Jaguars, but I mean, look at the Texans. Like, the Texans look night and day, and that defense is carrying them. So it's just a lot of factors, man. So it's a lot of factors, and I don't know. I don't know when I think about a favorite in the AFC.
I'm willing to guarantee the Buffalo Bills represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's not like far-fetched.
I mean, you acting like you just can't pick. You know, it's just such a difficult decision.
I'm just saying it is. It is.
Easy for me.
Well, we'll see then. We'll see, right? I think, you know, I think I'm going to go out on a limb, man. I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't know. I feel crazy if I say anybody else. Like, I can't say the Ravens because they probably not even about to make it. I don't know. I really don't know in the AFC. I think if I had to pick today, I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah. I go with the Patriots for right now. Even though it would be ugly and I don't want to see it. That's my problem. I think the other teams, I just don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see the Broncos. I feel like a Super Bowl, we should see Josh Allen or Lamar or Pat Mahomes.
Seen Pat Mahomes the last 10 years, and you still want to see him, but you don't want to see the Patriots or the Broncos?
I mean, I don't care. I love a good villain story. Pat is in his villain era, bro.
Is he?
Let him rock. Villain Pat. If Pat Mahomes gets in the playoffs as a wild card, that'll be the beginning of the true villain arc. Don't let him make it out that way. That'd be crazy. That's all.
They're cooked, brother.
That's all right. What do you think about the Texans? Since the Texans are who knocked them out, or you know, I think we were talking about in the group chat, they were like, the Texans are going to put the final straw in the Chiefs and 20-10 victory. Are the Texans a legit threat to a deep run?
I do. I do think they are. I think that defense is real, and I think, like I talked about earlier, there's a possibility where there's no Patrick Mahomes, there's no Lamar Jackson. I think even though offensively we'd love to see more out of the Texans and CJ Stroud. I do think that with how dominant their defense is, I mean, like the ability to get pressure with just 4 the way they can, and then they have great coverage on the back end. If they can just find any resemblance of offensive consistency, I think that defense can travel and shut down any offense in the AFC.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That defense is insane. You see, I was on here mad about my Bucks and that pass rush and how non-existent it is. And then you turn on the Texans and you're like, oh, this is what a pass rush looks like. This is what a real defense looks like. And I think, they have enough offensively with Nico Collins, with CJ Stroud. They got the young guys coming on late. I think they still got, Dalton Schultz, isn't he the tight end now for the Texans? They got enough, man. If the defense pays, you talk about your Bills. If the Bills, if they can't create offense against this Texans team, this Texans defense is good enough at the field position game, controlling the time of possession when they get the ball offensively, takeaways, which we know something that Josh Allen is susceptible to doing. He gets in that Superman hero mode. That could be nasty for you guys. See why it's not easy for me to just say the Bills?
It's very easy for me.
I mean, that's fine. You talk about Pat Mahomes, though.
I think when you talk about the playoffs and the younger quarterbacks like Drake May and Bo Nix, I think if you have a defense like Houston's coming in there, constantly putting pressure on you, you've got to bring your A game. We know Bo Nix has had a lot of miraculous fourth quarter comebacks, but for a lot of games for 3.5 quarters, offensively it can get muddy. So you've got to execute at a high level against the Houston Texans because they give 100% every defensive snap.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the AFC is shaping up to be interesting. Like when I think of the AFC, I think of those tough, gritty defensive teams. I think of low scoring games. I think of dogfights. So for some reason in my mind, I've always equated the NFC. I think maybe it's just like the CBS versus Fox thing. CBS just looks a little more like mundane, and then you got Fox with the NFC primarily is on there, just a little more exciting. But that's just me. That's a little random though. Talk about Pat Mahomes missing it, but to wrap it up for the NFL, man. If he does miss the playoffs, does this stain his legacy at all?
I don't think so. I think people are just overreacting.
I think people are hating. We've seen people not make the playoffs.
Man's got 3-4 Super Bowls, been to the Super Bowl 6-7 times. Won't be the last. They just, obviously the Chiefs got to retool, got to bring in some more help, some younger guys. Receivers got to catch the ball. Line's got to be better. So, I mean, guys are aging. This is what happens in a dynasty. So they it's up on them now to retool, and depending on regardless of what happens this season, improvements got to be made. It's not the same team. They were able to skate by last couple of years just on Patty's greatness, but now I think it's time for the Chiefs to try to put a team around him, take some pressure off of him, and let him get back into that Mahomes mode where not everything has to be on him. He can go out there and just kind of play loose and free. And never know when the dynasty can start back up.
Yeah, football is the ultimate team sport, and to say that not making the playoffs when, like you say, he's been there, been in the Super Bowl back to back, it feels like. I don't see how it stains his legacy. To further agree with your point, I feel like if anything, it speaks to volumes to how great Pat Mahomes has been, and it's a potential downfall of a lot of teams when you have those guys like Mahomes that can continuously bail you out, get you to the Super Bowl. You get there regardless of how we might have looked all year, but we still made it. And it I don't want to say it's complacency because I don't feel like in the NFL there's room for complacency, but you cut a few more corners, try to save a couple dollars here and there, because you have a guy that can kind of make up for a lot of your deficiencies. But now we've seen a point where he still makes a lot of great plays throughout the game, but you also see he needs some help. And so, like you said, I think if this is a hard reset for them if they don't make it, And I think some teams need that. Sometimes you need something to kind of bring you back down to reality and say, all right, we got to take this back to the drawing board and what doesn't work, right? And it's a lot easier when you have something like Pat Mahomes as your starting point. Now you can kind of go out and around, rebuild the defense, work on that run game, right? They've been pretty much just ignoring that for a little while with Pacheco and with Kareem Hunt because it was good enough to get by, right? It was good enough to get by, but maybe not the case anymore. Travis Kelce, you haven't gotten another tight end to mold behind that guy in years. And you probably should have started that 2-3 years ago, right? Well, now Travis Kelce getting older. After this season, especially you missed the playoffs, the conversation will be, is Travis Kelce coming back? And even if he does come back, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So they got to figure out some things. I feel like the Chiefs' issues are pretty glaring, and they have been for a very long time. It's just a matter of, hey, are we gonna actually go out here and fix it? Right? Early on, the weapons, they thought the Rashee Rice suspension being over would make everything great. Cool, Rashee Rice is cool. Great receiver. But I mean, there's still one guy, right? There's still one guy. The speed guys, the gadget guys are cool. But I mean, outside of that, your next bona fide receiver is, well, I don't want to say bona fide receiver. You got what? You got Hollywood, you got Worthy, but then you got Juju Smith-Schuster, right? Like, it's 5 years too late. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of fix that up if you're the Chiefs. I think take it out of this trying to hit these home run gadget names and actually go get some productivity to help your quarterback out. And I think they'll be right back in the thick of things again. But hey, that's if they miss the playoffs, which I think is still unlikely. NBA things, man. I'm gonna let you start first because we had an interesting conversation the other night. And people need to hear it. They need to know. You got me on here talking about my Bucks. Your Philadelphia 76ers, the other night y'all played, and I remember you were pretty animated about the direction of the team, the fate of some of the players, specifically Joel Embiid. Where are you now as a Sixer fan as you look back? We're approaching halfway. Well, we're probably not halfway into the season just yet, but a quarter of the season over, right? 2 months in, or a little over 2 months. Talk to me about your Sixers and Embiid, how you feel about the team.
So you know how as you get older, you start to see your parents get a little older, start to see them not move around like they once used to, have the same energy that they once used to, the spryness in their bones. That's how I feel about Joel Embiid. I've watched this man's entire career through the ups and downs. One of the best scorers we've ever seen at the center position, at any position in basketball. And to watch him the other night get Austin Reeves on a switch in the clutch and back him down to the free throw line and shoot a fadeaway when he had no chance of stopping him from doing anything else.
Yeah.
Showed me all I needed to know.
That's his shot, though.
All I need to know. That is not his shot. That is not his shot when a 6'5" white boy is guarding him. It's just sad. Like I said, just to watch what he was and to see what he is now. Obviously, Father Time and all the injuries that he's had, they're catching up to him. He can't jump at all, which makes his defense absolutely horrendous. He can't move his feet, can't jump. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't protect the rim anymore. He doesn't trust his knees at all, so he doesn't put pressure on the rim. All he does is foul bait, which
it gets.
I mean, at this point, I just feel like the refs aren't giving him those calls anymore. So he's foul baiting, just throwing random shots up, and he looks like a clown. Then his jumper is kind of broke now. So I mean, it's just sad to see. So I came to the realization that the Joel Embiid of years past is done. This man's best years are clearly behind him. And we gave him like a $300 million extension just last year that I believe just kicked in this year or hasn't even kicked in yet. So it's gonna be a couple of down years in Philly for a while. I really like VJ, but it's just right now he's just not an efficient offensive player.
This is a new song he's singing.
It's really just Maxey out there going 1-on-1, and I hate that for him. He can still get 30 a game, but there's just nobody really coming along with him for the ride. And it's just sad. It's just sad. We can never get two great players at one time. One has to be hobbled or extremely old, and in this case, it's both with Embiid. Yeah, it's just next topic. It's just sad.
Hey man, sorry to hear that.
Joel Embiid's gonna retire, the only MVP to never touch a conference finals, and I hate the fact that that's on.
Do you think there's a way for y'all to like?
No,
because I remember you talking about trading people. No.
Why would you trade for him? Why would you?
I mean, I'm not saying trade. I'm saying like make a trade and then see if you can win with him and said trade.
There is no winning with him. Have you seen him play?
I've seen him. I've told you this before.
Okay, don't say before. Like, it's clearly his worst year ever.
Right.
The man was walking 35 a game the past 3 years. So let's relax.
It got to be frustrating though. Like in all seriousness, like
it is frustrating.
You got a guy that might play 2 or 3 times a week, if that. Honestly, probably not most teams play 3 times a week, so he might play once or twice a week. And then when you play, it's like a minutes restriction, or it's just not pretty, and it makes it hard for your team. It makes it hard for a team to really like develop, because as long as he's in the building, he's gonna command what he commands. The money of it, we talk about.
He does not deserve 21 shots anymore. He needs to pass them up. Yeah. Honestly, I think. I mean, look, people clown PG, but I think when he's played, I think he's been the second best player. I think he needs to be looked at as the second option than Embiid. When Embiid's on the court, like you said, people just get out the way and just let him do him, because that's been the Sixers' way for the last decade, to just get him the ball and let him work. But that's not the case anymore. It doesn't work. He takes terrible shots. He foul baits. It leads to ugly turnovers and ugly shots. I don't like it. I don't like watching the Sixers this year. Outside of Maxey, which he's played great. I love watching him score 30, but when he has to sit there and go 1-on-1 the entire game, it just strains my eyes out.
It's not a good recipe, man. It's all right. You know what you can do? You can watch the NBA Cup.
I'll pass.
Why not? Let's talk about the NBA Cup. Because my team's in it this year. I'm not even that big of a fan of the NBA Cup, so let me start by saying that. I get it. It's cool, nice little incentive. Guys get some money. I think it's more of a feel-good story for like the lesser players on the team, which is interesting, because it's like we go out here and make this money, but like in the NBA Cup, most of your guys at the end of the bench probably aren't playing. But hey, everybody gets some money. Everybody likes a little extra check here and there. And so we got, the semifinals, or the quarterfinals rather, of the NBA Cup starting tonight. You got the Heat and the Magic, and the Knicks and the Raptors out east. Out west, you got the Suns and the Thunder, and the Spurs and the Lakers. Some interesting matchups. Maybe out west, a little more interesting out west. But, I said we're gearing up for the the Mavericks Invitational with the Lakers and the Knicks is my prediction of how this gets down to the nitty gritty in the finals. But do you see another finals by chance in the NBA Cup? I know you probably do, because you're a hater. But what you got?
I think I'm gonna take Orlando versus the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh yeah, the Thunder are playing. I don't know why I said that. Like the Lakers would beat them. All right, maybe the Thunder run away with this one. Didn't they get to the finals last year and lost?
They did. They lost to Milwaukee.
To the Bucks.
Don't think that'll happen again this year.
Hey man, all I know is
there's no Giannis waiting on the other side of the bracket.
There's a Jalen Brunson waiting, and
even easier,
there could be a Giannis waiting on the other side of the bracket. Make the trade. Make the call.
It's not happening.
Make the call. Either way, you don't think we beat the Magic, bro? No Franz? You don't even think we're going to beat the Raptors, do you? You being a hater.
It's NBA Cup. Anything can happen.
You're absolutely right.
The league would like New York versus LA, but it's not going to happen.
For the league.
You're going to settle for OKC versus Toronto.
Nah, we did the small market thing last year. You got to keep up with the themes, right? We did the small market thing last year. This year, you got Knicks, you got Lakers, you getting it because you probably can't. You got to think about it for the NBA, right? Obviously, this isn't me trying to say that the NBA is rigged. However, you can manufacture Knicks Lakers easier in an NBA Cup setting than you can in an NBA playoff setting. Knicks. Imagine Knicks Lakers in Vegas. Come on, bro. The league not slick. Then you got Rich Paul on interviews. You got Rich Paul on interviews talking about LeBron and how him going to the Knicks will make the Knicks better. Did you see that today? He always be doing it. One of my mans was like, Rich Paul does the tampering for LeBron and the Lakers. He just goes out on interviews and just says whatever and sees what sticks, man.
That is true.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Lakers Knicks, I'm telling you, you can book it for your NBA Cup, and that'll have NBA Cup Finals MVP Jalen Brunson. Then he'll get NBA Finals MVP in the same season. That'd be fire. Or you can get Knicks Thunder NBA Finals preview. Maybe that's the way the NBA will go. Y'all see Nell? Nell doesn't know what to say. He's upset about my team being in glory.
Thunder Raptors, or Thunder Magic. That's just how I see it.
Anybody but the Knicks. Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. It's all right. We'll see. You'll see. Keeping up with the Knicks. That'll be tonight, folks. Make sure y'all tune in. Or I guess you'll hear this on Thursday, so we'll know by then. Is the championship game on Friday?
Don't know when the championship game is.
It's next. So semifinals will be Saturday, and then the finals will be next Tuesday. Oh man, I get to see you before we go win the finals. I ain't mad at it. All right, cool. Let's move on to the pick'em, man. Let's wrap this show up today. We had let me do a little scoring here. Nell tried to be slick, pick my boy as a lock to get a little win-win for him. That's what he said last week. So he lost 2 points because my Bucks lost to the Saints.
Worthy sacrifice.
Dolphins over the Jets. That happened. So you lose. Oh, so you got your points back. I see what you did. There.
It's tied
so
up.
You just stay 0. Yeah, 27-27. I'm back in this thing. And I almost had that Bengals and Bills too. If the game ended 30 minutes earlier, I was good. Bengals had them. So what you got this week, man? It's week 15. We're coming to a close, tied up. No better way than...
I'll take Eagles as my lock. I'll take Bills as my routine.
Might as well do it, bro. I know you want to do it.
Let me get Falcons as my upset.
What's the thing on that?
I don't know.
You just assuming.
It gotta be the underdog.
Oh, they don't show it on.
Let me actually.
They don't show it on the ESPN app anymore. They say I gotta go to the Score app. Maybe they got it on that app. Let me see.
I always look on Bleacher Report.
Oh yeah, here we go. Gotta make me do an update, bro.
Actually, let me go ahead and get the Browns.
That's fine. We can definitely do that. Oh yeah, we get that Bills Patriots this week. I can't wait. Can't wait for you to see it. Okay. I'm thinking my lock of the week. He went Eagles. That's hilarious. I'm gonna take the Niners. Niners over the Titans as my lock. My road team for week 15. Ooh, some good games going on. God forbid a guy wants to be thorough here.
The fans don't want to just see you sit there and think for 20 minutes.
They want to see the thought process. They want to see how I do this here, right? And so I'm going to take the Packers over the Broncos. We just talked all that rah-rah about the AFC. And I'm going to take the Packers over the Broncos. Then my upset, I don't think my thing's uploaded. Oh, there it is. Here we go. I got my score app now. All right. I'll be using this joint like an old head. Hold on. NFL. We get I don't know if they're favored or not, so I can't really say. But I'm gonna assume the Lions are favored to lose on the road to the Rams.
5.5.
For the Rams? Rams minus 5.5?
Yep.
Let's do that. I got the Lions. Let's do it. Lions over the Rams. This is my comeback. Take the lead. We're tied up here, so anything can go. Damn. It's gonna be fun down to the wire. Can't wait. I'm excited, man. Yeah, best of luck. Best of luck to my Bucks. As you can see, I'm done picking them for anything pick'em related. Maybe next week I'm gonna hear my Mike Evans jersey. I just really wanted to wear it. I was planning to bring it for my trip, but we lost, so no need to use it. He also didn't play last week, so that kind of pissed me off. It's all right, bro. Maybe we're just having some growing pains here, and then we'll be ready for the playoffs. Getting out the way, that type of thing.
I think
probably not. But folks, that's going to do it for this episode of 2 for 2. It's season 4, episode 20. We're moving right along. NFL season, we getting to the end. Playoff race is getting interesting. So we'll get more into that next week after we see how this week's results go. See what we can shake out. We'll see if Nels Cowboys can continue their weaseling their way into the playoffs and see what can happen. We'll see if my Bucks can maintain their playoff position and not completely lose it. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll also have an update for y'all next week. You'll know. Next week, you'll know if my Knicks are in the championship. You'll know if my Knicks are going to be the NBA Cup champs after next week. So we'll get back with y'all on that as well. But with that, we want y'all to keep showing love. We're going to keep putting this out for you guys, man. We got you covered everywhere you want us to be. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, YouTube, got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere at 2 for 2 Pod, man. Continue to show love, and we're going to continue to do this for y'all. We appreciate each and every one of y'all that listens, even if it's for a second of the video, even if it's just on Instagram, or if you stick with us for the entire show, you're awesome. With that, Keith and Nell, 2 for 2. We out.